everyone, my name is Jayden and welcome back to the channel. So if you pay any attention in the Haunter community, you probably know that there's this thing called the Prototype Marathon going on, which is a collaboration between me and a couple other haunters who have some prototypes that some have released things, some have unreleased things, which we'll get to later on this week. But yeah, just a bunch of samples and prototypes that we want to show to all of you. Basically, we're starting off small with a bunch of samples of already released small items, which is where my contribution comes in this video. And we're working our way up, so if you're tired of seeing hanging heads and that sort of stuff, don't fret. In a couple days, I'd say starting around the 18th of May, you'll see some really cool stuff. But for now, we're still towards the beginning of this whole marathon, so let's talk about a really cool hanging head. So right beside me, you can see he's right there. I have the 2017 Tailuxe, God knows, alien head. This guy was sold at Spirit Halloween, as I just said, in 2017, which was right around when they were doing their whole alien theme with the back ISE. Now, right off the bat, I can tell you this video is not going to be very long because, one, it's a hanging head, what can I say? And two, I just don't have a ton of information on this particular sample. What I can do, though, is explain a little about the prop and show you some close-ups of why this is different from the typical released models, so I'll do that. So yeah, the first thing that stood out to me about this particular sample when I got it is the lack of sample tag. It probably had one at some point. It no longer does. There's really no way to tell if it had one at one point because there's no holes that are visible, and even if there were holes at some point for a tag, you wouldn't really be able to see them in the latex anymore. Interestingly enough, though, there is this patch on the back of the head that is like, it's glue. I'll show it up on the screen right now. It's like glue and some fabric tag sort of thing, that something was ripped off, basically. This very well could have been some sample information, some prototype information. As far as I can tell, and as far as my fellow haunters who are involved, who have been helping me out with this video can tell, there are no released models that have this sort of thing or have a tag in this spot at all. But there's also not a ton of information about the released models out there. I mean, there's very few photos if you search on the internet. I'll be showing some clips from my good friend Hauntformer's review. Hopefully he doesn't mind. But yeah, he's really the only one who has done a video on the actual release model. It's just a hanging head, like I said earlier, so what's there to talk about? So yeah, besides that glue patch on the back, there is actually some interesting stuff that does definitely point to this being a sample. Number one is, right off the bat, the detailing. The detailing on this thing is insane compared to the release models, the few photos and videos that we do have of the release models. The detailing is off the charts. On the release models, the colors are pretty washed down, as you'd expect on a mass-produced item. But on this head, as you'll see in this B-roll, there's a lot of dark grays in the crevices and a lot of like hand-painted details. Also, the general shape of the head seems to be pretty different from the release models. A lot of the release models seem to bulge in certain places, and this one is very uniform, very thought out. You know, it's pretty obvious that this head was, you know, there was more attention paid to it than the release models. Now, I don't have a release model to compare to this, which, you know, that sucks. That would have really been helpful for this video, but it's okay. One of my other observations that I made, which is why I'd kind of like a release model to compare to this, but obviously I don't have that, as I just said, is that the latex on this thing is super thick and like really just formed and hard almost, but not rot hard. Honestly, at first it felt like a PVC vinyl sort of situation, which would be very interesting for Tailuxe or however the hell you say it, because they're, you know, they did latex. That was their thing. But after further examination, you know, it definitely is latex. You can totally see it's actually starting to rot at some points on the chin. And it does have that slight latex smell, which you'd expect from an older prop. So yeah, again, I'm really sorry this video is kind of short. It's a hanging head. It's a sample. I don't know what to say. But yeah, if you have any other further observations about this specific hanging head, or you have the original that you can compare to this video, you know, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. There's a lot unknown about this thing, so I'd really like to get some more, you know, information and more clarification. So, you know, if you have anything, that would be awesome. But yeah, stay tuned for Prototype Marathon. We've got a ton of fun stuff coming on. Towards the end of this Prototype Marathon, we've got some huge drops that I think are really going to shake the Haunter community. So, not to hype it up too much, but stay tuned. Oh, and also, check out the website. I made a website for this whole thing, so go check it out. We'll be updating it daily with the day's drop, and, you know, there will be some fun stuff on there too, so just check it out. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be a good resource. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Happy Prototype Marathon, and I don't even know who's the next video. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but on to them.